Welcome back to Dare to Hair. In today's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to take that template we made in the last episode and we're going to use it to cut in a new hair system. And today's hair system I'm using is Lavivid's, and that's what I'm wearing now. This is actually, I've been wearing this system for probably 2 weeks now. So in the next video, what I'm going to do is the actual reapplication or new application of the system. But in today's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to use that template we made and cut in a new system. The system I'm wearing is a Lavivid hair system. This is the Eros model. It's 1B, which is one black with 50% gray, and it's a full poly unit. So here we go. This video I showed you guys how to make the templates, and no matter if you're going to use one that you pre-made like this one, or like what I'm using here, which is the plastic retainer that came with the Vivid hair system. I'm going to use that as a template to mark the inside of the hair system. And just a little note, when you see this little extra skin on the front of it, don't be afraid to cut that back, because that's whenever you try to glue that down, it's kind of a pain. And then you can always kind of see how it's kind of, I don't know if you can see that there, but it kind of shines in the light, and it does the same thing whenever it's on your head. So, and that's one of the things that, I didn't do whenever I first had a hair system, because I was afraid to cut that back because what it would look like. And then months later, when my system got older and I wasn't that worried about it, I would cut it, and it made all the difference in the world. So like I said, whenever you're setting up your system, your template in there to cut it, make sure that you come back. You don't go all the way to the front, but you come back a little bit. That way that you can get into that good hairline whenever you do apply it, and it's nice and seamless. Okay, now that I've got it in there and I've got it pretty well centered up inside there, what I want to do is take my marker and draw a line where I'll be doing my cutting. And none of this is, don't be afraid to do any of this, because this is stuff that we, that's we can all do. It's not like it's, it's just a bunch of little processes. A lot of times whenever we do something, it seems daunting because it seems something so big. But whenever you take something and you make it down into more bite-sized pieces, and you just do a little bit at a time, it doesn't seem so bad. And before you know it, you're done with what you want to do. So see how I'm going through here and I'm marking back where my hairline should be there. Like I said, don't be afraid to make your template just a little bit wider, longer, because you can always go back and take a little bit off. All right, there we go. So now I've marked that, and I can pull that out, and it shows me my line to where I need to cut for my system. See how I've used this towel to try to kind of make a bowl, so that whenever I set the new system in there, that it was nice and it wasn't flat, because our heads are round, so everything we got to deal with is try to make that as nice and flat as possible, so you don't have any extra things you need to deal with. Okay, now here comes the fun part, and don't let this scare you, because it can be kind of scary. The first time that the first system I ever had, I cut wrong, and I end up having to deal with that. But now that I know a little bit more, you can see where I've got my line. Start in the back, and what you probably want to do is you want to cut to the line and then cut around. And what that does is that whenever you get in there, and the good thing about using that marker is that when you get in here, you get up underneath there. Let's see if we can find it. You can see that line. And what you want to do whenever you do cut that line, see where my line is there? So what you want to do is whenever you're cutting, you want to make sure that you pull that hair back. Any hair that's laying in front of that line is going to be cut, and that's going to make short hair. So what you want to do is make sure that whenever you're cutting this hairline right here, is that you lay this stuff, the stuff that you don't want cut, the stuff that you're going to be wearing, you want that to be pulled back and laying away from that cut line. We're going to start the cutting process now. Well, like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up from the back, so it doesn't matter, because this stuff's all going to be cut off anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start my cut What you really want to worry about is when you start getting into that hairline. So, see how I've cut that? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my way around. And some of this is going to be hard to see, guys, just because of how the hair is, and I got to really pay attention to what I'm doing to make sure that I'm pulling the hair back the direction I need to go. So, all right, I had to go back and get me some sharp scissors. You need some sharpest scissors you can find so you can make a nice clean cut. What I'm doing is I'm going up underneath there. Trying to get as close as you can to that skin. Like I said, you can always cut more off. I want to make sure that I'm real careful up by the It's okay to get rid of the excess, that way you get less to worry about. All right, as you can tell from the end of that last clip, you can see that it was kind of hard for me to get to where I could see where that hairline is. So what I went and did, and that's what it is, you know, sometimes you have to adjust on the fly when you're doing these things, guys, you know, because to be completely honest with you, this is the first time I'm actually cutting a hair system. I've cut the front hairline back a little bit, but actually cutting a new hair system, this is the first time I've done it. So, you know, sometimes whenever you start with something, you got to adjust and you have to, you know, adapt and conquer. So what I'm doing is I went and I wetted down the system, added a little bit of conditioner to make it to where I could brush it. And then what I'm doing is I'm making sure that these hairs are pulled back, especially on the front hairline. I want to make sure that these hairs are pulled back whenever I make this cut. That way you won't have these little hairs hanging in the front. You know, if that hair is folded down like that and then you cut that line, you're going to have a little row of little hairs up front, and it's not going to look right. So what you want to be able to do is pull those things back, and if it happens to be across that line, you know, in some areas, like whenever I get like into there, that's going to tell you which side of the line you need to be on. So I'm going to slowly just work my way around to where I can get that hair out of the way and I can see where I'm working, and that gives you a little bit more visibility on what you need to do.
really have to take your time when you're doing this and make sure that you do a good job. You know, I would suggest maybe, you know, just from what I've noticed on this, whenever I was doing this one, you know, I still have a kind of that line of where my Sharpie was, which is okay. I got a lot of it cut off. Like I said, it'll probably wear off after time. You can see it a little bit. I can probably rub it off, or you know, and you're gonna have stuff like that happen, but you know, that's okay. So there we go. We have a new fresh cut system.
Hey, thanks for watching. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this is a Lavivid hair system. This is the Eros model. It is the 1B 50% gray full poly unit. And I'll let you guys look at it. Like I said, I have not cut this in. This is just basically cutting the unit and putting it on. I have a little bit of, you can kind of see, you know, up here, I've got to do some adjustments on the hairline. You can see that, and this is full disclosure, you can see what it's like to have a system, you know, you can see where I've left that, I've got that line in from where I was trying to, for my marker, and what I'll do is I'll cut that out. But you can see on this side where I've cut it. But like I said, you know, and many of you guys know that whenever you know, wear a system for, you know, this, like I said, this is going on 3 weeks. So that, I mean, it's lifting up, man. I mean, it's doing its stuff, but that's okay. I mean, I just wanted to show you how the hair system looks. You know, this one has kind of a little body wave to it, but I love it. I mean, I think it looks great. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the content, or you like, you know, there's something you want to see a video about, leave a comment below. Let me know, you know, your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts about this system. Your dislikes, your likes, I don't care, I like them all. And remember, you know, don't take yourself too seriously. This is supposed to be fun. Let's have fun with it, and dare to hair.